this contest because, I mean, there's no way you take a team such as CB East with a 5-2 record lightly. There's nobody you're looking ahead of, but what has happened to them here this evening? Sure, they've had the injuries to Bazemore, to Davis, the ineligible player in Fisher, but this is still basically the same team that has reeled off the 6 wins and 1 tie and gone unbeaten at this stage.
I'll tell you, Bart Sparango, once again, off the left side. He's finally brought down by Mike Lynch. But Sparango close to another first down. It'll be 3rd down and short yardage, about 1 yard to go for the first down. And East is now inside the 10-yard, it looks like, or they're just about at the 10-yard line with 11:41 to play in the ball game.
You know, we keep saying that the defense has to come up with the big play, but look at the pressure you're putting on them. They came up at the other end of the field midway in the 3rd quarter, stopped them on the 2-yard line on the big 4th down play.
I don't think the offense has been on the field for more than 10 minutes all night.
Right. And that fatigue factor has to be setting in.
That was Jason Tate off the right tackle that time for a first down, I believe. They're going to call timeout, I believe, for a measurement. Nope, they don't bother. First down. 1st and goal to go.
Around the stands here, you see about 400 people on the Norristown side just kind of sitting there in disbelief going, are we watching this? This is a dream, right?
I'll tell you. Coming off that big win last week over Penridge, this has certainly got to be a disappointment. Sparango, I tell you, he's close to a touchdown, folks. He bowled his way for about 5 more yards. It'll be 2nd and goal from about the 2.
Well, it's that time again to play. You can be a football coach.
I called it the last time. Let's see what we can do. You went to Sparango last time. I think this time I'd go to Jason Tate off the left side.
Yeah, they have been finding some holes there the second half on the left side of the Eagles line.
They have Jeff Bernhardt in there, but they give it to Sparango off the right. That's what we called the last time. They don't make it, however. Well, they were 3rd down and very short yardage.
They were obviously waiting to call your play this time
Next
around.
time, I see. My mistake. See, I was thinking ahead of myself. Should have gone with the old standard Sparango right. 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line.
As the Patriots keep moving the ball on the ground, let's not forget the clock. 9.5 minutes to go here.
Clock's ticking down.
If they score here, I don't think it really will matter. They could probably be 19 minutes the way the Eagles are playing. They're
Sparango, touchdown.
3rd of the ball game.
Central Bucks East, and Bart Sparango in particular, up on top in this ball game now, 18-0.
Can we vote on the Offensive Player of the Game award now?
I think I'd give my MVP award to Bart Sparango. He's played a heck of a ball game, and give credit to the offensive line of the Patriots. They have played a fantastic game. They have pushed and shoved and won the battle of the trenches, as they call it, against the Norristown Eagles tonight.
You know, we mentioned the size of the Patriots, but let's not forget, Norristown, pretty well built up front too, and yet you're right. Patriots have had all the edges tonight, just blowing out and clearing out holes for Sparango and everyone else.
I think it's that combination of the way the line has been won by the offense of the Patriots and the fact that Norristown has been hurting on offense, especially missing Forrest Davis. We have a flag on the field, Forrest Davis and Lenny Bazemore. Delay of game called against the Patriots, so they'll move back 5 yards. I don't think it's going to be too much of a big deal.
Here we have the extra point attempt. And it's got the distance, and it is good, folks. Extra point good. 19-0. CB East going up. Steve Durrell with the extra point attempt. Actually, what I meant to say, CB West next up for the Norristown Eagles, and that is a road game. That, of course, next Friday, October 31st.
I'm sorry, folks. Did I miss it? Alan Raleigh calling this the Patriots of Central Bucks East West
It was
again?
a grammatical slip. And
oh, I see.
if we were smart, we'd go back and edit it out or erase the tape. But no, actually what I was saying was fitting. Next week, Norristown on Halloween night gets to go up to CB West and probably get blown away.
That could be a nightmare, too.
I'm telling you. Maybe that's it. They're wearing masks tonight. They're preparing. This is not the
I'll
real
tell you what,
Norristown
this team is schizophrenic. They'll probably go to West next week and dominate them for all that this team has done this year. You never know with the Norristown Eagles. Not the most predictable club in Eagle history. Heck of a kick. Daryl Moses takes it at the 19-yard line. Daryl Moses breaks 3 tackles. Had one more man to beat. The kicker brings him down close to midfield at the 44-yard line. Steve Dara made the tackle. I'll tell you, Daryl Moses shot through that middle. He must have had grease on him or something. He slid right through the middle.
Well, 9 minutes ago, 19-0. Fans, few of them starting to leave Roosevelt Field, not too surprising. Eagles almost forced to put it up here, and that's not what they do best. Scott overthrowing his intended receiver. That's Brad York. York, it looks like he pulls up lane too, perhaps.
I think the official was an ineligible receiver on that pass play, wasn't he? But he was the closest man to the ball.
You can see Brad York, though, limping back into the field. Looks like he pulled something midway through his
I
pattern.
think Coach Grove's going to have to take him out of there. He's got some kind of a pull, muscle pull.
In a slightly chilly, cold night like tonight, boy, you know that must hurt.
And coming into the ball game for Norristown will be number 41, I believe. Oh, look at this last name, Alan.
I'm leaving it to you.
Mark Zakowitz.
Good old Mark Zakowitz, okay.
I'm going to call him Mark a lot. Number 41. Looks like Brad York might just have a cramp there on the sideline. They're massaging his calf. Hopefully he'll be back into this ball game before too long for Norristown. Danny Boyd up the middle for 3 yards.
I don't think a delayed draw play is what you need down 19 points with 9 minutes to play.
Well, Coach Grove went up top on first down. There was nothing doing. I guess what do you do?
True.
You can't go deep. What else do you have to do? I'd like to see him throw it over the middle a little bit more, but
I'd still like to see a running back occasionally catch the ball and try running out of the backfield with it. Just a thought, a little flare pass, a screen pass. I'm not real picky, you know.
It's tough. No question about it. Norristown being outplayed tonight.
Well, you said it at halftime. First half, CBS dominating all facets of the game, and the second half, no difference.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the play we've all been looking for. Danny Boyd out of the backfield, and I might add, wide open.
And Danny Boyd now with a whopping 3 catches this season.
Hey, good for a first down. I'll take it. We haven't seen one of those in about 20 minutes.
You know, we're obviously making fun of the Eagles' performance here, and let's be honest, they've been horrible this evening. But you wonder sometimes. Obviously, we don't have 1/10 of the coaching knowledge of these folks down here, and it's easy to be the armchair quarterbacks. But there are just sometimes you have to say, why? Why don't they go to the men in the backfield? Why do they always go to Brad York?
Well, that time they went to Danny Boyd, and it was good for 10 yards. Play action pass. They've got their tight end open. Ed Colbreth with a fine reception. He bobbles it with 2 men falling off of him, makes the reception. And that's another thing they haven't done, Alan. I don't know how many catches Ed Colbreth has this year. Alan tells me 4. I was about to say it can't be many.
And no, the key on that play was they kept Danny Boyd in as a blocking back. And he gave Scott just that little extra time he needed to look over the middle and find Colbreth cutting across.
Well, this is a fine time for Norristown to come alive, but it would have helped if it was about 2 quarters ago. They're at the 35-yard line of East, and this is the first time they've been this far down in enemy territory. Timeout by the officials.
Chains weren't set up yet. Momentary stoppage while they walk them up the field. We're about set to go. Eagles have to get into the end zone quickly. This time they give it off to Boyd. Boyd maybe 3-4 yards at the most as he's taken down by CB East.
Chris Scarpula warming up on the sideline. Of course, Jim Scott, a junior quarterback, Scarpula, the senior. I've had no qualms with Jim Scott's performance this year up until tonight. He's had a very tough night this evening. I tell you, you think Coach Grove had his earphones on tonight? Because he's doing exactly what we've been talking about all evening, and that's throwing to his backs.
Well, Tom Pierantozzi is calling the plays over here, calling them down, and I figured I went over to halftime. I said, hey, Tom, why don't we go to Boyd out of the backfield?
In any event, 5-yard gain for Danny Boyd, and it'll be 3rd down and about 5 to go, folks. 6:44 remaining in this ball game. 19-0. The Patriots way out on top. To pass again. There's the blitz. Almost an interception.
Scott did a great job of getting that one off. And the Eagles' offensive line, a massive breakdown.
That time, Brian Hone and his counterpart, number 42. And that is Allen, Craig Maurer. Blasting through to almost sack Jim Scott.
Well, 4th and 4 here, and you're down 19-0. I think it's kind of obvious they're going for it.
You think so? They're not going to punt? I think Chris Scarpula feels hurt.
Though, yeah, he's had so much action this evening. Been the most productive Eagle this evening on offense. Though, on this series, it seems the Eagles have been content instead of trying to force it. They've been willing just to take what's available.
Uh-oh.
Let's see, is that going to be an incomplete pass or a fumble?
Yep, incomplete pass.
He had his arm going forward.
Norristown's ball. It really, no, it's not Norristown's ball. CB East ball. It really doesn't make too much difference, folks. Just move it back 4 yards to the line of scrimmage. 10 yards, pardon me. So they'll start from their own 29-yard line, and that pretty much seals this ball game away for East with only 6:26 remaining.
Boy, this is a gigantic win for CB East. Coming on the road, as Jeff said earlier in this ballgame, almost a must-win situation since they already had one loss in conference play. So the Eagles will be handed their first loss now in Suburban 1 League action this year. They're joining good company. CB East has one loss. Penridge has one. Abington one also. A little movement on both sides.
That last call, legal procedure against the Patriots of CB East. They get it back, however. It'll be 3rd down and about 9 yards to go with 5:32 left in this ball game. 19-0. Patriots out in front of the Norristown Eagles here at Roosevelt Field. Of course, this game being brought to you by the Norristown Area School District and Homeview Cable Television, Doylestown, Bucks County.
And Jeff, I was expecting to use this. I figured when the game got a little slow, which it's really been since the opening kickoff as far as being for Norristown. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
I think that we should award the player of the game here with a certain honor, especially since it's going to be a CB East player. Each week, just like Norristown has their player of the weeks here, sponsored by the Times Herald, etc., the Moose Lodge Award goes to a player from CB West, a player from CB East, and a player from Del Val over in the Bucks County area. Just so happens I have a list of all the CB East players, so I figure since this game is being shown in CB East territory, and of course we are not members of the Moose Lodge, but I would have to say that Mr. Sparango tonight, obviously the clear-cut winner of this award. 3 touchdowns, and he has really keyed the CB East rushing attack.
A fine punt taken at the 36-yard line by Brett Queenan. Brett runs backwards 6 yards and is tackled at the 31-yard line. Of course, on that last 3rd down play, East got about 2 on the carry, faced with a 4th down and 7. That's what precipitated that last punt. And let's read off the former Moose Lodge Award winners.
Might as well. There's nothing else going on.
Hey, in that Archbishop Wood game, Clark Paulus, the quarterback for East, was the winner. Council Rock game, our man, Bart Sparango. In the William Tennant ball game, Brent Maurer, Vivian's son. And in the Ben Sailing game, Jeff Bernhard. In the Truman game, Scott Campbell. Pennsbury was Mike Brown. And against North Penn last week, Craig Maurer, the other son of Vivian Maurer, our good friend at CB East. Brad Yorick has a reception. That's his second of the night, I believe. He got about 7 yards on the carry and out of bounds at the 36-yard line. I really can't tell.
And Jeff's Chris Carpool's down in quarterback.
That's right, Walt. Roger Grove making the change. Jim Scott out of the ball game in favor of Scarpula.
That was Scarpool's 5th pass this season and his first completion.
Danny Boyd on the carry. I think he's close to a first down. Did he pick it up, guys? I really can't tell. On the tackle, number 43, Craig Maurer.
It'll be 3rd and 1 for the Eagles.
.330 to play in this game. They're at their own 41-yard line. Fumble.
Scarpula fumbled the snap and CB East recovers.
And it looks like, Walt, they're at about the 37-yard line in Norristown. They're comfortable there because they've been there all night.
You know, this is a fitting end, perhaps, for this ball game. I mean, the Eagles have just been one mistake after another, so why not fumble it? Let CB East run out the last 3 minutes of the clock.
Can you petition the official score to wipe off the last 3 minutes of the game and just get out of here? This is not pretty, folks.
Hasn't been Norristown team.
Clark Paulus that time. The handoff went to number 20, Bart Sparango, off the left side.
Second and 7 for Central Bucks East. The handoff to Sparango over the right side.
Looks like he's close to the first down, Walt. And of course, we have a new quarterback in the ball game. Looks like number 12, Greg Coverdale, entering the ball game. He's a junior quarterback for the Patriots. Out of the I formation.
CB East gets the first down.
And we're less than 2 minutes to go in this ball game, Walt. 1:37 on the clock, and the entire second string in the ball game for the Patriots. That's a fumble, and that's no. I think they ought to call that young man down. No, they don't. They say fumble. Norristown recovers. I thought when he slipped, he was already down.
Right. The minute your knee hits the ground, that's it. Play's over.
The ground can't cause a fumble, but in that case, I guess the official said he really didn't have control. So Norristown gets a break. I guess if you can call it a break.
Correction. Ground can cause a fumble as long as he is untouched. As long as he's untouched.
So the play's over.
When he goes down and he hits the ground and the ball comes loose, but he's untouched. That's a fumble.
First down, Norristown. They go deep. Scarpula, almost an interception. Looked like roller derby out there. Bill Livingston, deep down the near sideline, upended by 2 defenders.
I'll tell you, for a guy that's only thrown 6 passes now in the whole season and 2 tonight, that was a pretty well thrown ball there.
That ball had a tight spiral to it and didn't seem too much of an effort for him to get it those 40 yards. 1:04 to play in the ball game.
The Eagles now have Queenan and Urick split wide to the right. Scarpula rolls out and completes a pass to Danny Boyd.
The officials will spot it, Walt, on about the 38-yard line.
And Jeff Scarpula looks pretty good, and it's nice to see Roger Grove going in the air a little bit. I think he may have found a new dimension for his offense.
It's certainly been a change of pace, and there he goes back up the middle to Danny Boyd. On the draw play that time, Eagles close to a first down. We have a timeout called by the officials. We'll have another measurement here. We've had a lot of measurements tonight. Well, the penalties have certainly hurt Norristown. There's no question about it. Can't expect to win a ball game with penalties that kill drives time after time. Can't expect to win ball games without moving the ball, and it's going to be 4th and a foot, so they go for the draw play to try and get themselves a little room and don't get the first down, folks. Will the night never end? 54 seconds to play. Norristown down 19-0.
Look on the bright side. Half the fans left almost a quarter ago. There'll be no traffic around Roosevelt Stadium by the time we get out.
Carry by Darrell Moses picks up the first down, about 10 to 12 yards on the play. Norristown calls timeout. I think this could be called a tribute to the CB East defense. Norristown scoring 151 points in their 7 games last year, and CB East has pretty much shut them down. .46 seconds left to play.
I don't believe it. Flag on the play. It's probably delay of game.
Much to our chagrin.
And that's got to be a cardinal sin at this point to have delay of game. These people have a lot of nerve. Now, what's the call now? It's not delay of game. It's one of those calls you never see. It's very descriptive of me, wasn't it?
Trust us. Shoulder it.
In any event, Scarpula is scrambling for his life. Another flag down with 37 seconds to play. That's got to be holding. The Norristown lineman trying to protect Chris Scarpula. Sure, Jeff. Chris Scarpula. Jim Scott is much easier to say. I'll give Scott credit for that. And let's keep that young man Zakowitz out of these ball games until we retire, huh? Just kidding. I'm sure Mark is a fine ball player, and
all I want to know, doesn't basketball season start like real soon?
yes, I hope so. we get many more games like this, I think I might just renegotiate my contract and only do basketball. The big money, Alan, that's what it's all about.
Brad Urick's all right. He's black in there, split wide to the right.
Well, that's pretty sad. They set up the screen to Darryl Moses. Chris Scarpula gets all the way back there, and then they can't complete the pass. They have 4 guys waiting there to block. Although I don't see too much energy left in the Norristown players, and gee, I really just can't understand it. It's only 19-0 with 33 seconds to play. Little sarcasm there, folks. Just a tad of sarcasm. Well, Norristown's got something to rebound from this week when they play Central Bucks West next time. They're going to have a much more impressive performance next week if they expect to rebound from this loss. And they'd better keep their spirits high when they go to North Penn and play Abington. Scarpula again under heavy pressure. Danny Boyd with his 3rd reception here. So Danny has increased his receptions by 150% on the season. He started with 2, he now has 5. And Scarpula with Britt Queenan in the ball game. Dave Wallace in there at tight end. Brad Urick wide to the left. Out of the I formation.
Danny Boyd carries for 2 yards, and you know, Jeff, these short passes may open up that running game with 3 fine backs in Boyd, Moses, and Davis. The short passes could be really beneficial in Norristown.
Absolutely, and it's going to have to wait till the next game, though, before they can test it to any degree, because this ball game is now over, folks. You see the players coming onto the field. The final score, 19-0. CB East sticks it to the Norristown Eagles here at Roosevelt Field. Alan and I will be back in just a moment with our post-game wrap-up. Final score, folks, 19-0. Norristown takes a beating here at Roosevelt Field, and this is their 8th ball game of this season. They come in with a 6-0-1 record, a 4-0 league record. They leave with a 4-1 league record, and I'll tell you, the CB East Patriots have to be very excited. They also leave the stadium with a 4-1 league record and a fine performance by the Patriots. They outplayed Norristown up and down the field tonight. Norristown never really even threatened to score in this ball game. I don't think even ever got inside the opponent's 25-yard line.
Maybe it was an omen of bad things to come. The very first series for the Eagles, Jim Scott dropped back. He kept looking for a receiver and looking, and he had 10 or 15 yards in front of him. But he never decided to take the ball and just run it. Instead, he threw it in a crowd, and it was deflected. And maybe that just set the tone for the entire night, which is, what more can you say? It was a disaster. In the 8 years that we've done this, I don't remember the Eagles getting shut out at home, and I don't remember the Eagles getting dominated on both sides of the line of scrimmage so thoroughly as CB East did tonight. And let's remember, this is I believe, the first time they ever met, and this isn't an easy task. CB East coming from where they are after a tough loss to North Penn the week before, 7-0 loss, coming to Norristown and beating a team which had already defeated a good squad from Pennsbury, another one from Penridge. You know, what can you say? 19-0, CB East a winner, and an easy one too.
It seemed to me like Norristown tried to change its personality about 3/4 of the way through the game. They went through the first half of the game confused. They didn't have anything set. Looked, their game strategy really wasn't working, wasn't effective. Roger Grove changed his strategy, changed the personality of his ball club, but it was too little too late. I like those passes to Danny Boyd late in the ball game. I think Danny Boyd can be very effective as a pass receiver out of the backfield. The young man obviously has great running talent. Give him a chance to get the ball where they're not keying on him so much. Throw it to him in the out. Give him the pass in the flat. Let him go with it from there.
And now coming in here for the Patriots, Bart Sparango. You look at stats, and it just shows you how deceiving they can sometimes be. You see he's gained 385 yards, but he was only averaging 3.5 yards per carry. Tonight, He was just awesome. Anything he wanted to do, running to the right and then running to the left, it didn't matter. And he set up Tate and everybody else, and it set up the passing game for CB East. They only threw the ball 5 times, but 2 of them were long completions, ironically both the Sparango, and they set up 2 of the scores. And what happened? Sparango scores all 3 touchdowns from for CB East, 2 2-yarders and 1 from 3 yards out.
Well, that's right. Early in the ballgame, we saw that Bart Sparango was going to be a key to the Central Bucks East squad on that 3rd down and long from their own territory, about the 30-yard line, 25-yard line. Sparango split the Norristown defensive seam, and a beautiful pass to him right over the middle. He takes it for 45 yards, and that sets up their first score of the ball game. From there on out, it was all CB East. Norristown just didn't show up tonight, folks, and I don't know what to say about it. I don't know what the reason was. I don't even know if Roger Grove knows what the reason was. Not a good game for the Eagles, and they've got to rebound quickly and effectively to play CB West next week out in Bucks County at West.
Exactly, and it doesn't get any easier because after that, it's Abington, which is probably the 2nd best team in the conference, especially after watching the Eagles here tonight. They can't be considered in that category. And then after that, North Penn, and then the final game of the season, Upper Merion. No easy ones the rest of the way out. But my goodness, let me ask you, what do you think? Obviously, we're not covering the CB West game, and this tape will be airing before that game is played. But we've talked about the schizophrenic nature of Norristown. Is this the type of loss that motivates you to come out and actually be a better team, or is this just indicative of, hey, maybe the Eagles just aren't that good and they were lucky earlier in the season?
I really don't know. I hope it's the first thing you said. I don't know that there's any loss that's a good loss, but Norristown, I think, will come back strong against CB West. And once again, they've got that one more home game against Abington, then home on Thanksgiving against Upper Merion. We'd like to thank the Norristown Area School District and Homeview Cable Television from Bucks County for joining us here this evening and bringing us this ball game. Mr. Sam Galbraith for his guidance here tonight, Mr. Tony Coy, Director of Communication, Mr. Chad Hart for running camera, Walt Fry for helping us out in the booth with some announcing tonight. For Alan Raleigh, I'm Jeff Brandon. Thank you for being with us, folks. We'll see you next time on the Norristown High Cable Channel.